Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. First off, congratulations for graduating Brock University. Uh, I know it's probably not how you imagined it, um, with all the COVID-19 stuff going on. What program did you actually graduate from? I never asked.
Kinesiology.
Okay, nice. So what's next? Do you want to continue to become a physiotherapist, or what were you thinking for that?
I'm not sure. It's such a weird time because of wrestling too. I'm just kind of getting up there with wrestling, so
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a weird time. But I plan on doing school again this year,
Okay,
but probably not at Brock. Probably
okay.
I'm thinking Niagara College or somewhere in St. Catharines.
Okay. Yeah, definitely like a big year for you for wrestling. Like won the Canadian
Yeah.
trials, qualified for your first national team, won U Sports. What was that? Your third time winning U Sports?
E-
Yeah,
yes.
up two weight classes this time. Uh,
Yeah.
Competed in the Pan Am Championships and the Pan Am qualifiers back-to-back weekends. First two weekends of March, so like right when everything was really starting to hit the fan with the whole COVID-19 situation.
Yeah.
How does it feel to finally have like a break?
Honestly, it's awesome. Like
Yeah,
I needed this so bad,
true.
like the break. Because we would have got one anyway, probably our team, but like
Yeah,
I'm still like I'm still benefiting from the break. It's been long, but I've been enjoying it. I feel like honestly, I feel like a normal person because you know how we train and stuff
yeah,
in wrestling. I feel like just a normal student who's home for the summer. It's awesome.
nice.
Getting fat and stuff. I don't
Yeah,
I'm getting up there. So
what are you weighing around now?
67 or so.
Okay, that's
Yeah, 10 kilos. Yeah, from like it's I gained it pretty quick too. As soon as I got back, I was so skinny.
yeah.
Just
We're
made
uh
57, right?
we're almost the same weight now.
Yeah. You got to come to
Um,
57.
yeah. Um, so did you find like with the pandemic going on, did that add any extra pressure with the Pan American Games and Pan American qualifiers?
The only not really. I just more was worried it would get canceled because when we were there,
Yeah,
they
for
were
sure.
talking about it, and like I'm sitting here like almost on weight, and it would have pissed me off to make weight and not
Oh
get to
yeah,
wrestle that and have to do it again.
yeah,
But now I wished it was canceled because I would have liked now that it's postponed the Olympics, we would have got like another year to train for that, right? So which would
yeah,
have been awesome. Now and at the time I was like, hope it doesn't get canceled. I didn't know the Olympics would get canceled, but now that I think about it, it's it would have been kind of nice to have that year to train. We still have some qualifying tournaments, but the Pan Am's would have been better
for
for to
sure.
have a full year for. But yeah, it was just kind of it was a really weird stressful moment. People like that. It was weird. It was like in the elevators at the tournaments. You were there. The
Yeah,
just like everyone was like they were kind of. I felt like the South Americans were kind of more worried about us than USA because they didn't really have any cases back then
yeah.
at the
Um,
time. So
Yeah, so the first I wasn't there for the
the
first
championship,
weekend, but
yeah.
I was there for the second weekend. What was like, did you notice like a lot of difference in like the procedures that they had? Like I know I think the refs didn't shake the hands of the athletes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just from that week, it was like because that it just you could see how the pandemic got so bad in like a week. It got worse, and so people, we got a lot of emails and stuff from the Wrestling Canada telling us like make sure if we feel any sickness, anything, go to the sport doctor. Like, don't take
Yeah.
any precautions. Make sure we wash our hands and stuff. And yeah, again, the rat like stuff like the refs not shaking hands is it was weird.
Yeah, it'll be
So
interesting to see like after all this blows over, what kind of procedures they implement to
yeah, no,
avoid
it's
stuff like that.
every time the more I think about like this whole thing, it's like crazy. It's like a where were you when moment, all this stuff. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
it's kind of yeah.
Um, Do you think that the event should have been canceled like entirely? Because I know like the day before you were wrestling, I think was the day that they canceled face-to-face classes at Brock
Oh
University and
yeah.
most universities.
I would say yes if the athletes weren't. A lot of them were already there. Like we're from Canada,
That's
so
true.
we went there and then went home and then went there again. Like the during the week we went back to St. Catharines, right? But most athletes from South America and USA stayed for the whole 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So they did the championship and qualifiers. So they normally I'd say yes, but since they were already there, I'm pretty sure they decided not to.
Yeah.
It was close though. I heard from the like higher ups at Wrestling Canada that it was pretty close to be canceled.
Mm.
It just would have been a lot of, if they got it already, it would have been really inconvenient for, Ottawa, the whole
For
center and
sure.
all that. So
Yeah, I know for the for the trials they had made it so it was only friends and family allowed to attend too, right?
yeah, for the qualifiers. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's true. And that was that was even different for everyone too, because some people's family members had to get refunded, and like some people's family members came all the way from, some cities around Ontario and couldn't, and got turned away. So, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
in
was
the
doing,
end, it worked out.
yeah, I was volunteering, so I had to like kind of ask people and make sure like they were
Oh
friends
yeah,
and family. Is a
that's not.
weird situation. I know I think it was from South America, one of the athletes tested positive after the whole
Oh
tournament,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It was Tobier from Cuba.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I
And
wrestled
then
a Cuban too, so I was sweating.
yeah, and then
But it
also
was fun.
your roommate for the tournament, Clayton, he had some symptoms, but I don't think he actually ended up having.
No, he didn't. But
That's
he
early.
warned us. We were all, you were there in the same van, and so he warned us, and it was it was for a week or so, or 2 weeks. Like we weren't sure. I wasn't like that confident that I didn't have it either. So
Yeah,
after the 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, we're good. So
yeah. I had messaged him one time, and he said like he wasn't feeling too good, and then I messaged him another time, and he didn't respond. So then I got really worried, but eventually I ended up,
that's
and he was on Facebook and stuff. So
hilarious.
yeah, I was like even because I'm staying with my girlfriend right now, so her whole family was paranoid that I was sick, and like they're trying to avoid me and stuff.
Damn, you were actually sick?
No, I wasn't sick, but they're scared
Oh,
I might be sick.
yeah. Jeez, imagine if that like he actually did have it though. I would have brought it back to our province, and like you
Yeah,
would have gave it to your whole girlfriend's family. That would have sucked.
yeah, would have been bad.
Yeah. And he gave it to he said his mom was getting sick too. So
Oh,
that's why he
really?
was worried. Yeah. But she was like
Yeah,
kind of having cold symptoms. And when he told me that, I was kind of like, okay, maybe. But dude, he had all the symptoms. I
yeah,
swear.
yeah. It's
I don't know
scary.
how he didn't have it.
Well, also, I know he went to get tested one time, and like I think they
Yeah.
said they were out of like the kits they needed to test, like this
Yeah.
cotton swabs.
Yeah, it sucks because then we could have known for sure, not have to worry. But yeah, he tried to get tested. He did it, but I don't know what the heck was going on then. I guess they were just saying like, I don't really understand because I thought if you had the symptoms, you're supposed to get tested. But if you
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So, what have you been doing to stay sharp, stay in shape? Have you been doing much?
Not as much staying in shape like cardio wise, but like as far as like muscular endurance stuff, I've been doing like we have
Team builder?
yeah, team builder. Yeah, we have Vicky from Brock there giving us workouts all the time.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Like doing what she can, let even like everything, strength, speed, some cardio, endurance, and plyometrics, all that. So been kind of
That's
doing
good.
that stuff. Been playing
Nice.
like I don't know, going for runs and stuff. It's pretty much all I can do. I've been
Yeah.
that's mentally as a mental side. I've been watching wrestling and stuff
That's
like
good.
so
Yeah.
talking
No.
to coaches and stuff and
Yeah. Our coach Marty's been posting a lot of videos in our Facebook
yeah,
chat. That's good.
I know. I have trouble commenting on those things. I don't know
Yeah. He.
because I'm like me and Chris McKaiser are probably the two that watch the most wrestling in our team. I probably watch more than him, and I don't know. I just don't want to comment on there. But it looks like if he would ask me in person, I'd fucking you know talk his ear off. But it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I should though. It looks like probably to him. It probably looks like I'm not even looking at it. So,
Yeah. For people
but
that are just listening and don't fully understand what we're
well, that's
talking
the thing.
about.
I think he's posting it for people who don't. Like a lot of the girls I know, like I can't say for sure, but most of the ones I know don't watch any wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he wants a lot of them to. Some guys too, but most girls I know just it's never Hannah, for example, never interested her to watch it. Some
Hmm.
people I find are fans of the sport as well as competitors. But I love the sport, and even I
Yeah.
compete in it, still a big fan of it, and I probably will be afterwards too.
That's good. For people that are just listening to the podcast and don't understand what we're talking about, our coach Marty Calder, he has been posting wrestling videos in our Facebook chat and just getting people to comment on it, kind of create some discussion, keep our minds sharp, thinking about wrestling during this off time. Anyway, transitioning away from the whole COVID-19 thing, what was it like moving from like PEI to Ontario to Brock University? coming out of high school to wrestle. Well, I guess you did 1 year. What was it at Guelph or
No, Western.
McMaster? At Western. Okay.
Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was hard, man. Like, especially because I went to Western in grade 12. So I was supposed to obviously graduate in grade 12. Wasn't doing an extra year or anything.
Yeah.
My first semester, grade 12, I had some family there, like close family, but I decided like I needed to get out of the province. So I want to excel, so because we just don't have the resources here.
Yeah.
Whereas we were getting really experienced that we couldn't get the tournaments. That was a big thing. Competitions, like we couldn't really get any good ones. We'd have to fly all the way to Ontario and stuff. It was really expensive. So I just knew I had to get out of there and go back to, go to the place where, like Ontario, where everyone's tough and big teams and tournaments. So I had to do it. It was hard though, as I'm not as much as I'm a social guy. I'm kind of shy, kind of like I'm not really one to go just meet new people. So to go to a new high school in grade 12, where it was a hard step, but it was like fuck. I just think of that commitment I did. I don't know how I did it, to be honest, because I don't know if I would do it today. So the fact that I did that is like thanking the past Ligrit right now for that, because it probably saved me got me that whole just that semester in Ontario. Going from PEI was a big deal, and then led me to go into Western for the year, which and then led me to go to Brock, which obviously it's been going great for me. So it's a big jump from PEI, but it had to be done, I think.
Yeah. So what kind of role has Brock University and the team and Marty Calder played on your wrestling career so far?
I think a big part is just pushing me to like perform my best. Because one thing at Western I noticed is like they didn't really care how you did. It was more about the win.
Yeah.
But I find at Brock it was like no matter whether you win or lose, it depended if you gave it your all, kind of thing.
For sure.
And like at Western, I found it was just
Sure,
like
well.
exactly, because they didn't really have any tough guys, and I didn't have much training partners there, and that's probably why and I did well in the team compared to everyone else. So I was kind of like you know the guy who was doing well in the youth sport, and I got a medal that year, and I don't know if anyone else did. And then so it was good, but
So what was like what was like the transition like coming from Western to Brock?
the transition, I'd say the big thing was having so many people in my weight class at Brock.
Okay.
Right? Because we had like
Yeah.
Alex, Sam, and so like I get there and there's like 3 or 4 guys in my weight class who all have beaten me, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them I have not beaten. But then when I went there, I don't know what happened. Is that summer of training between going to Western and Brock, I actually went to Europe and trained for a bit, and I just went there and I was like, all of a sudden I don't want to step on my toes, but I was like kind of the top guy when I got there. I don't know how, but then from that year I was getting beat by these guys. So
Yeah.
that sense was weird though, wrestling against competitors we tournaments almost every weekend, and yet we were all in the same weight class, like 4 of us.
Yeah.
So in that sense it was weird, and plus just meeting again, transitioning team and stuff. But the coaches liked me, and they saw that I work hard and stuff, so it worked out fine that way. But say the big transition, I was having a lot of teammates in my weight class.
Okay. And I know currently like you live with a house full of wrestlers. Was that the case when you had first moved to Brock, or was that not till second year?
No, it was not till second year actually. Well, I lived with Chris from Kaizik, one of the guys on our team, when I first moved in. But the people who lived there with us were former wrestlers.
Okay.
So, but they didn't, like, when I say former, I mean like they didn't really didn't have anything to do with Brock wrestling at that point. But they used to wrestle at
I see.
Brock. So like Marty knew them and stuff. That's how I got the connection. So because I didn't really go there and find a place myself. I had kind of go by pictures. I didn't actually go see a place. So and I just had to trust that it was okay, and it worked out great. But it was second year when I moved in with all the wrestlers was definitely better. Worked out like it's awesome now. So all of us have the same goals and stuff and push each other too.
Do you find that motivates you a lot more to be in
for sure, man. Like sleep, if you get caught sleeping in or something, you get roasted.
Yeah.
Like it's or anything like that. Like it's just like we all go to the same place. We all it's so convenient for that, but just it's kind of keeps us all accountable, holds us accountable and stuff. It's anything we help each other out with we talk about wrestling, for example, like we help each other out with any issues. If some of us had a bad tournament, we talk
Yeah.
about it, confidence and stuff. And so it's so many positives to living with wrestlers if you're wrestling.
Nice. I know after this, you have um, like an online mental, or what is it exactly? Sorry.
Oh, it's like a sports psychology session somebody's holding here. Just kind of it's called Win the Weight. I think it's just for kind of to help athletes during the quarantine
Yeah.
to kind of. I don't. I've not, like I said, it's my first time doing it. It was actually last week too, and I missed it. So this week I plan on going to it and just kind of listen in, see what's going on. So I don't have too many issues, but it's like such a good time to get mental like training in. Like
Yeah. Make the
it's so
most.
hard to see. Exactly. I'm trying to make the most of it. Like I see somebody like I talk to people like in Wrestling Canada. They have so many resources for this stuff. We have a debrief. I had a debrief with the coaches a few days ago and stuff. So it's been awesome for that. That's why I think like as much as this stuff's crazy, it's honestly I'd say it's one of the best things for my wrestling.
Yeah.
Because
Opportunity to
exactly,
be proactive.
yeah. Because that's kind of like one thing I really want to work on, but it's so hard to do like throughout the year with training and school. And summer's the best time to do it, but then even with our training and trips and tournaments, it's still tough. But now it's like doors wide open for me to break through that mental kind of part.
Nice. Do you currently do much like visualization or any other types of mental training?
I do when the tournaments are coming up. Let's say,
Okay.
like when it's like during the season, I'm like I get like three sports psychology books on my table, and I'm sitting here like looking at techniques of what the breathing techniques and all that from different ones, and just anything like that. Like I do a lot of that stuff. It's
That's awesome.
I find it very helpful actually, and just in general for performance anxiety or anything like that, it just helps a lot.
Yeah. I know our coach Marty, he likes us to kind of visualize being at a tournament on Saturdays when we have like our
Yeah.
match days and like wear singlets and all that, kind of get in the
Yeah,
zone.
I remember I was talking to Tanya about that. I find that so hard to do. It's not the same no matter what. I try
Yeah.
so hard. It's just like because I find at practice I'm never. That's not true. I'm gonna say I'm never nervous, but sometimes I'm nervous. But it's more if like a new guy comes in our room and I gotta wrestle him, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the only time I've ever been nervous. But it's like difference between the room I find and a tournament. It's like there's less pressure, I'd say, in the room,
Yeah.
which is weird because I find sometimes a lot, but there's definitely less in a tournament. So that's why I want to start doing even better is visualizing making a match. So that it's like every weekend it's like you have a tournament, especially with this month. It was, so many tournaments got canceled for the summer, right?
Yeah.
For Canada wrestling. So this whole summer is going to be like nothing but Brock, no trips, no tournaments, nothing. Cause we can't go anywhere really. We can't, if we get, when we get back to training,
Yeah.
but,
Hopefully soon.
yeah. So those Saturday practices are going to be crucial for preparing for the season next year.
Yeah. I know Marty had said he wants to do very technique based
Yeah,
training when
fuck,
we get
I
back.
can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Another thing I really really wanted to do too is just getting them reps in. We've been like especially during this season's been kind of whack with the trials. So we normally when we're kind of starting slow, we started so hard because it's trials, and then then the qualifiers came in March, like really soon after. Like it's a big turnaround, a quick turnaround. So is this session of technique will be awesome for everybody, not just me, even like especially some of the younger guys, and they'll benefit greatly from
Myself.
it, I think. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be great for you.
Yeah. Yeah. This was going to be the first year I was going to stay for the whole summer. Because
Yeah,
last year I went home for the summer, but hopefully can still get some reps in this summer.
yeah. No, good. It's a good call. Good year to stay for it.
Yeah. I know when you had first won Canadian trials, I was talking to you and you said like it hadn't really sunk in. How long did it take for
Yeah.
you to kind of like have that sink in and then start looking towards the next goal?
Hey, till the next day, it didn't really sink in. I remember I was like, I won it, and then we celebrated and stuff. I talked to my parents; they were so happy. But again, it didn't sink in. And the next day, during the day, ran. They went in my room, sat on my bed, was texting a friend about it. he's asking me where the qualifiers are and stuff. Then it just hit me. I'm just like, what the fuck? This is like the goal, man. And I'm like, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of young for the sport too, and just kind of all the resources too. And I started getting emails from Canada Wrestling. Like I've never won nationals before. I've never been carded or anything. All that, like all the emails, they give you so many resources, like dietitians, sports psychologists, like all that stuff. Like just when all those emails came the next day and stuff, and it was just like, wow, like, I always see people like who are at the top for a while doing this and, getting winning nationals and stuff. And so I've always wanted to win it. And then I'm like, wait, trials is even bigger because it's every 4 years, nationals every year.
Yeah.
So I'm like all that mixed together into one minute kind of hit me. I'm like, oh shit, it's awesome. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your experience with Pan Am's? How did you find it?
Oh, the venue and everything was amazing. I'd say,
Yeah.
like it was awesome. This like the food, everything, like can't complain about anything like that. I just wasn't, I didn't like the way I wrestled and stuff, and wasn't the greatest experience for me as far as like my wrestling goes. But with the venue and stuff, and I other than that, it was good. But I just think I need a little more experience internationally.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I never won nationals before, so this is same with Clayton. Actually, it's our first time ever being on a Canada team. So we have like probably one tournament outside of Canada, or like outside North America. I think we have one or two in USA, but actually I have one in USA and then one outside of Canada before this. So me and Clayton were like, it's totally different than domestic, and I just talking to Marty about this too. Actually, I kind of just broke through the domestic, part of Canada, like of wrestling.
Yeah.
I just broke through because I used to always come like second or third, but I finally broke through for trials, won, and then now it's another huge leap to go internationally and break through. So it's going to take some time. Going to take a lot of international tournaments before I, feel more confident in these tournaments against other countries. So, but I think that was a big factor in it. But the experience was awesome. It was still like worthwhile, and still I'm grateful as heck for getting to even wrestle to go to the Olympics. And now I get we have more chances too after this coronavirus stuff. But
nice.
Yeah.
Is there any lessons in particular that you feel like you took away from Pan Am's?
Like specifically wrestling wise, or?
Yeah.
I'd say, well, I wrestled two guys, or I wrestled Gilman, so I could take away from his match with him. I'd say just being more assertive in your hands, like hand fighting and stuff. Like he was so aggressive.
Yeah.
I found he wouldn't let you breathe. Like the pressure was just on the whole time. So it was just something like, and Marty always preaches that stuff, right? Just keep the hands going and keep attacking, because if you let off someone like him, he'll make you pay for it. And then after that, I wrestled a Cuban who's a world champion. So I wouldn't say I didn't have a good draw, so that was another issue. But hey, I'm not gonna complain about it. That's not I got to beat him anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
So then with the Cuban was a whole different thing. He wasn't aggressive at all. He was kind of relaxed, but he would just move me really well, I found.
Okay.
And that's one thing I want. The hand fighting is, I got kind of the best of both worlds. I got the guy that is slick and athletic and well good with his hands, and I got the guy Gilman who's aggressive and beats you up with them. So I want to kind of like, I'd say the big takeaway was just the hand fighting in general. I got both aspects of it, and I kind of want to mix those two and kind of get something that works for me.
Nice.
So from a technical aspect, that's it. And from like physically, I felt good. It sucked making weight twice in a row. I'll be honest, but
yeah, back
I had to do that back to back. Yeah, because I don't know if a lot of them sent their like second string championships.
Mm-hmm.
So then their first string came at for qualifiers, but I went to both, so that kind of sucked. But I felt fine physically, and yeah, I think and mentally I was good too. It was just I think I'll need a little more experience internationally to kind of get used to that kind of level of competition and what these guys bring to the table. So, but all in all, it was like, that's why I'm so glad that I won the trials, because like, imagine if I didn't win, I wouldn't have went to any of these tournaments, and then I wouldn't have got this stuff. Well, I wouldn't even be in the position to say, oh, I need more international experience, because I wouldn't have even thought that. I would have just maybe I would have won trials in 2020 for 2024, and then this whole thing would have happened again. So the fact that I won now and got to do this stuff, if I don't make the 2021 now Olympics, like because we're gonna have another qualifier next year. But if I don't make this one, like it's gonna make me so ready for the 2024.
Yeah,
So
it's like what Marty was saying about how like each tournament and experience is like a building block for
yeah,
the next step in your career.
that's what I definitely take away from that. Like every tournament is definitely a building block. That's why that's when you're saying about coming back from PEI, we didn't have the tournaments. And that's one
Yeah,
thing no matter how good I got at wrestling, if I didn't have the experience at tournaments, it wouldn't do me any good to an extent. But so when I went there and I was wrestling every weekend, I would like try to wrestle all the time. Any tournament there was, Marty's like, "You sure you want to? You've been like 5 tournaments in a row. You sure you don't want to take this off?" I'm like, "No, I gotta catch up." These
yeah,
guys in Ontario, they wrestled every single day and every single weekend in high school and then also those huge tournaments. And I'm like sitting here like going to 2 tournaments a year where the guys are like no good at all, and then right away to nationals to thrown into the wolves and getting my ass kicked at nationals, right? So I had to catch up, so I had to do all the tournaments. So a lot of that kind of applies to the trials and the qualifiers and stuff. So all in all, it was still hitting me how awesome it is that I got to do that stuff and got the experience, and now like it's just gonna put me up so high in wrestling.
yeah,
I was actually thinking of MMA, but I wasn't saying that if I didn't win trials I'd go to MMA, but it was kind of in my head
yeah,
but now that I won it, I'm like, shit, I gotta like because they take care of you if you do well too, Wrestling Canada. So
hmm
if I can keep doing that, MMA is still in the back of my mind for sure. I definitely want to try it.
Do you have any other martial arts experience aside from wrestling?
Well, that's how I started wrestling. I started with MMA. I did boxing, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at jiu-jitsu. Like I
Okay.
wouldn't like I'm not, let's say, like someone with a belt or something. I'm not. I do no gi obviously, but I was always pretty good at it. Just grappling in general, I've always been good at it. Wrestling too, obviously, and then jiu-jitsu, especially now that I wrestle, it's like I find I can. The transition's really easy. It's really good,
Yeah.
and just got to learn some stuff. And that's for striking. I was like I used to love. I haven't done it in a while now, but I used to be a big boxing fan and big boxer before I started wrestling and boxing at the same time.
I
And the
didn't know
reason
that.
and the reason I stayed with wrestling is because I actually chose boxing first. But the Canada Games of 2013, when I started in 2012, late 2012, and boxing was taken out of the Canada Games. So then I chose wrestling. If it
Okay.
wasn't taken out, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be boxing. So
Have you had any fights or just like sparring and stuff?
no, just sparring stuff. And I was like, it was like still, it was like I just started like, but
Yeah.
I was always just such a scrappy, it was like I could have made either team, wasn't an issue because we don't have that many, competitors there. But I probably would have got, I did get my ass kicked at wrestling, but I probably would have got my ass kicked at boxing too. But then I would have probably moved to Ontario or something for
Yeah.
boxing. Who knows? But I have a little bit of experience in that, but obviously I'm not confident in like striking since I haven't done it in years and years. I'm talking like 5-6 years or so. I haven't done it like any. So
Yeah.
I do it I do once in a while. I come here. We have some especially in the summer. I come here and I want to get stay in shape. It's like there's some MMA clubs around. And I usually go. Definitely, I do jiu-jitsu with them. Show them some stuff from wrestling aspect too, and boxing and stuff, and just kind of hitting pads and stuff.
Yeah.
So I always like to stay, do that stuff because I do enjoy it. Like I'm a big MMA fan. I was a huge boxing fan. Like I don't even know how to explain how big. I was like
Who's your
a
favorite boxer?
fanboy all time
Yeah.
or
I guess
Muhammad Ali.
current and then all time.
Current probably Gennady Golovkin, GGG. Like
Yeah.
he's good. I like him. I like Canelo too. That's a thing. I love them both
Yeah,
actually.
he's slick. I was
He's
watching
slick,
their
and that I
fight.
like his style more. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was watching their first fight actually last night.
Yeah.
Classic.
Nah.
My personal favorite is Lomachenko.
Oh yeah, he's good too. He's
Yeah.
nasty. And he's a southpaw too, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a southpaw. That's why I used to watch a lot of southpaws. Yeah, no, it's he's nasty for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no,
he's like got crazy footwork and
yeah,
really good defensive style, but then at the same time he like finishes fights.
yeah.
He had like multiple fights where like his opponent just didn't come out of the corner like in between rounds because it's like I'm just getting outclassed.
Oh, he's just like a definition of like good. This guy's a good boxer. Like
Yeah.
just technically.
I was watching some of his training videos too, and like he does like all kinds of like mental training. Like he'll have like his regular training.
Really.
After that, he'll do like different games with like colors and blocks and numbers and like just like kind of
Damn,
mental training. And then even on his off days, he's doing like tennis and stuff to get like his hand-eye
it's
coordination.
cool.
Yeah.
No, it's an awesome sport. I like that's why I'm kind of excited for my MMA kind of attempt, my MMA career, because
Yeah. Well, some of the best MMA fighters are former wrestlers, like Henry
yeah, well,
Cejudo and
yeah,
all
that's
that.
a thing. Like with MMA, wrestling such a good base to have. So
Yeah, for sure. And then you got Chris Prickett, assistant
yeah,
wrestling coach at
well,
Brock.
that's when he opened up Niagara Top Team was when I was like, oh man, I can stay here and like do MMA if I decide to. Like I can wrestle. It's just an awesome environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stay with my coach. So Chris is Prickett's like me and him have some history as coach and athlete. It's awesome. Like we he's always helping me out and stuff. And in the room, he puts a lot of focus on me.
Yeah.
So to just be able to keep him around as a coach, but in a whole different sport, is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
Have that rapport already built. And he's
exactly.
like a world-class coach in MMA as well as
Yeah,
wrestling. So it's
yeah,
perfect.
for
And
sure.
also stylistically, he's like the perfect coach for you too.
Yeah, no, it's that's kind of what gave me more reason to do MMA since he opened the gym up. So
Nice. And then
yeah,
I know your roommate Alex is getting into MMA a lot now
yeah, he
and
has
his
been.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's kind of cool too.
Have you been talking to him
He's
much?
yeah, he's living with us next year too, right? He's not wrestling, but he's still training MMA and stuff. It's kind of we have different. He trains later though. I find MMA they train later. They have like 7 p.m. training
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's
But
weird.
no, I've been talking to him. Yeah, he's been training like I don't know, probably not now, but he's been like he's been going hard when we were back there before the coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
He was going pretty hard actually. Like
Yeah, I got some rounds in with him. He's actually got
oh
some nice
yeah,
hands. Yeah.
yeah. He's southpaw, right?
Yeah.
He copied me, bro. I told him that. I say it right now because
Yeah.
I told him about how because in wrestling we're right stance, right? When you're right-handed,
Mm.
your right foot's forward,
Yeah.
and just like I don't know, I so because of that, because like I said, I started wrestling and boxing at the same time, but my plan was MMA at the end. So because of that, I always like did it boxing southpaw because I thought I would always be southpaw because of
Yeah.
wrestling.
That's like the
So
opposite of Marty, because he was saying he
exactly, yeah,
started boxing orthodox, so then his left foot
yeah,
was leading, so then he did the same when he started wrestling.
yeah,
Which it's kind of weird because in wrestling that's like uncommon to be a left lead and like
yeah.
finish
Well,
people off.
it's just like boxing, right? Southpaw and orthodox, same thing as
Yeah.
wrestling. I hate like wrestling lefties is it's annoying. It's different, whole different angles, whole different side. You
Yeah.
don't get, especially because, well, just like boxing, like you both train usually like again as if you're fighting against an orthodox or in wrestling case southpaw. So it's I kind of wish I was left leads, but
Yeah. It's weird because for me for striking I'm a left lead and then for wrestling I'm a right lead.
really you should have. I guess it's just you should have
Yeah.
stayed, or I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know
know.
the mechanics. I don't know if you, yeah,
Because now I'm trying to like transition and then it's like really weird to
yeah.
like do a takedown for me from that
Well,
stance.
when I wrestle, I find my stances switch all the time. I got my left lead sometimes because
Yeah.
I got a single on the both sides.
Okay.
But I feel way more comfortable on my right lead, but depends on the situation where I am in the match and how I'm what's myself left lead a lot, so I can do both. But as far as like attacks go, people mostly it's my side that I've been training with my whole wrestling career, so they're mostly the right side.
Nice. And so going into Canadian trials, I had predicted to my cousin, who's a wrestler, that I thought that you're going to win for your weight class. So I wasn't really surprised, just based on what I've seen you do in training and whatnot.
Yeah.
But were you surprised personally?
No, not really. Like I was surprised too, but like I was like I wouldn't. The word surprise I don't like because it looks like I was unconfident. But no, I was ready to go. Like that's like I wish I could emulate that tournament, man. Because like that's a tournament that I put it all out there. Like I wrestled
Yeah.
the way I wanted to. Like
Okay,
even
you're
like
ready.
especially because yeah, exactly. Especially in my finals there when I lost my first match by that ref call kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I was just so mentally like stable that like no matter what, like even that's a big hit, like losing that close match because of like the kind of the I don't know if you remember the situation, but I had him on his like butt and the refs gave two, and then it was close, I'll be honest, but
Yeah.
they gave two, and then so I let him go because he could have rolled me over for 2 or something. So after I saw the ref give me 2, I kind of let him go, and I got away from him, and then he challenged it, and he won the challenge. I'm like, and that against that guy, actually, I lost. Every time I wrestle him, I always lose by something stupid like a challenge. So
Yeah.
it was pretty like, it was pretty crazy that happened. I was so mad, like fuming, and then I don't know, just somehow just kept it together and just went out there in the second match, just then tacked him, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just so prepared mentally, physically, and technically. Just the whole thing, Marty. You know, we did such a good job tapering too. Like that's a big thing from Western to Brock too. We do such a good job tapering.
Yeah.
We were so ready for every tournament, like especially like whenever every tournament. I mean, like the ones that are like nationals and youth sports. Like we're
not
like
the smaller
yeah.
tournaments. For sure.
We're so ready for those. Like physically, he just does such a good job. Because it takes a lot. It's not just about knowing techniques. It's like being a coach. You got to be able to like have a good schedule and stuff, and so
yeah,
he does a good job with that.
For your own scheduling, like, do you do much for time management and whatnot? Like, do you have like a set schedule when you get up and everything like that?
I do for wrestling because usually I get up. Usually, we have our training in the morning, and depending if I have classes, but I'm pretty open. I'm not super like scheduled like Hannah is, for example. She's like textbook, like got an agenda and all that. Like I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you find that sorry. Loot.
Hello. Sorry,
How do you find? I was gonna say, like, what role has Hannah, your girlfriend, played in your wrestling career? Like, it must be pretty motivational to have like another person who's like a star wrestler who you're always with.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's we just kind of we both like push each other. If we talk to each other a lot, like about wrestling, and she definitely helps with like for example dieting. We're both the same weight class. We both cut weight together. It's like it just so much than if you're just, for example, if I didn't have a girlfriend, I was alone, and I'd have to like kind of. She helps, for example, she preps meals for me and stuff. Like, well, also she's also wrestling too, right? She's not just some like student or something. She's also wrestling. She's preparing for herself too, and stuff like that. From dieting helps, and just in training sometimes like I'll wrestle around with her, just like a comfortable person to wrestle with, because we that's who my training partner was in PEI.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, and just again pushing each other and helping each other with any issues with wrestling, like talking to each other. Having someone to talk to is big for sure, because talk to a coach is awesome, but some things you might not feel comfortable, or you might be embarrassed, especially as a
different
guy.
dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. She definitely feels the same way. I know, but it's definitely like helps a lot. So
do you find that you guys are like competitive with each other, like who wins certain tournaments? Like I know she kind of like got to that world stage a bit before you. Like, did that kind of light a fire under you to get to that level? Or
no, not at all. I was more like happy for her. Same with when I won trials. She just lost the match before I wrestled. She lost, and then she was like so happy for me that it was like it's for other things will challenge like compete against each other but for wrestling it's a little like we wouldn't say anything like winning tournaments stuff, but if we have a loss or something, we're both such high level in the sport that it's not just to us when it's a loss, it's not just a shrug off like you just lost the intramurals game. It's like it's a big deal, so we don't really like do kind of negative stuff in that sense. But when we do other stuff, like whether it's play a video game or sometimes we play like badminton and stuff like that against each other, handball, like we'll compete. Like we argue a lot sometimes because we're both so competitive, and like if we play a sport like recently we've been playing badminton, like I said, and we'll say if we say the birdie went out or in, we'll start arguing about that because we're both so competitive, and that's kind of what we've been doing to keep our thing here, just like playing stuff and keeping up with that. So
nice. So do you have your other Zoom call going on now? I guess it's like 2:04.
I just want to start it.
Yeah, no worries.
It's not Zoom, so I'm trying to join it. I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay.
304.
Is that a poster in the background? Is that from trials?
Oh God, yeah, it's me,
Yeah.
dude. My dad done up my place. I got 3 posters of myself in here.
Nice, nice.
There's one of me during like in action wrestling in like a position. I look these and all these. I'm not
Yeah,
that. I don't look like that anymore. And then like the some other ones there too. Like my dad just he flexes on this stuff, so
that's
decided to
funny.
do that. Yeah, it's so funny. It's weird coming downstairs, big posters of you.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Oh, it is. Okay.
How much weight do you usually cut, give or take?
Well, I get my average like is 63 or 64. I get to, and then I got to diet down because with day before weigh-ins I used to cut more, but with day of I have the more you cut the worse you're gonna perform. Right? You wrestle like an hour and a
Yeah.
half later. It's not a good idea. Okay, I'm in it now. I'm just gonna keep it going. Just hope it
No
doesn't.
worries.
He's just a guy talking there. Just hope he doesn't ask me anything or say welcome, Ligrit, and I'm just.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what would you ask? Sorry.
I was just asking about your weight cut.
Oh yeah, fuck. I just don't want to think of weight cutting, man. It's been so
Yeah.
nice too, just eating.
Eat
But
what you
no,
want.
yeah, but weight as far as weight cutting goes, it's like I'd say I get down to like 60. It depends on what the tournament was, but like I did such a good job weight cutting at trials. Actually, I was zero point 0.7 over 57. Or sorry, zero point 0.9 over 57.9 in the morning of the night before weigh-ins,
Okay.
which is the day you'd make weight. That's before doing any weight cutting. Like that's like from like water loading and diet. Like
Yeah.
I'd never been that small since grade 10. Like I was like, holy shit! Like it was so awesome because I cut barely for that, and like I had Alex live. You know, Alex is small in general. He's
Yeah.
he stays like 59 kilos when he eats. When he can eat as much as he wants to, won't get bigger than that. And
Yeah.
he I was smaller than him, and it was like so funny. It's like because yeah, it was hard work, but I did such a good job with that. But usually, I'd say average a cut 3 kilos or so, two at the most, two at the like least two.
Yeah.
So, but that again, that's for day for day before. I could cut like 4 or 5 if I have to. Like I've done probably that for day before, but like it's whole different ball game though.
Yeah.
So.
Especially like once you get to like I know some tournaments it's like you can have like a 1 kilogram or 2 kilogram.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And some tournaments it's like day before, some tournaments day of.
yeah,
It's a bit
yeah. No,
squirrely.
the 2 kilo allowance and stuff. Those are nice, but
Yeah. But then people take advantage of it too and like
mhm.
cut way more than they should to like a
Yeah,
smaller weight class.
for sure. But
I know I've done that
I know you have actually.
at Western.
Yeah, 61.
Yeah.
No, it's that's a sport though. I fucking hate weight cutting. I'm a guy who loves food, and like this sport is like if I go back in time, I'd be like why am I choosing this sport? It's making me not eat
Yeah.
but nothing really. I don't really see a solution to it. I don't know how they could stop it. People are gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah. I know I think it's ONE FC and some like high school wrestling tournaments in the States. I think they like test for hydration levels.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how feasible that is at like big
That
tournaments.
would be cool, but yeah, I don't know how feasible it is, but that would be cool because I'm all for no weight cutting. I'd love to not have to
Yeah.
cut weight and go. I'd go up a weight class. Everyone else would too, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Cause
I
yeah, I
might.
feel like that's
Yeah,
probably like the worst part of the sport just because like it is dangerous depending on
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do it pretty safely, but
yeah.
especially when I was younger. That's what like high school kids like they definitely like I didn't do it before that safe and especially for day of like now day of gotta watch out for some high school kids that they're like cadet nationals and stuff like grade 9 10 kids just cutting a bunch of weight and not good and doesn't makes the sport kind of look kind of same with MMA. It looks kind of barbaric a bit, but I don't. It sucks, but it's gotta be done. Part of the sports. All these is boxing too. All these weight class sports, even
Yeah.
rowing, right? So
But it's good for small guys like us to have weight classes.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with Daniel Cormier, and I guess I think it was his second time at the Olympics or something, and he he was weight cutting. I think it was China, and he weight cut uh, like he didn't do it in the safest way, and then his like liver or kidneys like failed,
Really,
or like something happened. He had to go to the hospital, and like he didn't end up getting to wrestle for the Olympics.
that's crazy. You seen that? What year was that? Like,
I
you
think it was
remember?
Beijing, so
Beijing,
whatever year that is,
2008, wouldn't it be?
something like that. I'm not sure.
That's crazy how far the sport with in like a little over 10 years how far we came like for weight cutting, right? Because to say an Olympic, he's such a high level Olympian wrestler that he did it unsafely. Just shows the lack of knowledge back then about it. And now
Yeah.
these days, I find you wouldn't catch an Olympic champ doing it unsafely.
Mm.
They'll do it. Everyone who's high level knows what they're doing. So now it's still not a good thing, but like you wouldn't get, especially USA, like they probably do such a good job at teaching the athletes how to do it and guiding them, the safe way. Just like Canada Wrestling does the same thing. They do a good job too.
Yeah.
Problem is, I don't know how well these resources are out for athletes who are not on the Team Canada, for example. So it's because I worry about the athletes who don't, like, for example, kids from somewhere like PEI who have no quality coaches, who might not have people to helping them out and telling them what to do. So they're just sitting there in a sauna suit in the sauna for hours and doing it unsafely.
Yeah.
But just it is what it is. So
I know you've done a few camps. You said you did one in Europe. I know you did one in Iowa. What's been like your favorite camp that you've gone to outside of Brock?
well, as far from I'd say either Russia or Iowa. Iowa is just it's hard.
Yeah.
I had a really good camp this year leading up to trials, but I had some good goes with some of the top guys, so it was awesome leading up to trials. But as far as like trip and everything goes, I'd say Russia was cool. Just I remember
Experience
that, man.
wise.
Yeah, what was I, 20? I was getting my ass kicked by a 16-year-old dude. Like
Yeah.
that's
Whole different world out there.
they mean business there. Yeah, I knew that going in too. But just it was really cool to see, and it was awesome to learn from these guys. They don't speak a lick of English, but like they're teaching you stuff, and I really love to go somewhere like that again, like with Brock. So, and I know Marty actually planned on going somewhere in Europe this summer.
Yeah.
So it
Wasn't it like
sucked that
Italy or something?
no, actually he was thinking Italy, but then he wanted to go somewhere more like somewhere like how do I explain, like somewhere not as common, like a Latvia or Slovakia or Macedonia. He had
Yeah.
mentioned even Albania, where I'm from, he said he would go like somewhere like that's not. It's good at wrestling because all these countries are good at wrestling. They're like,
All the EA countries.
yeah, exactly. All these are good at wrestling, but they're just and they're cool places to go to, right? So
Yeah.
he actually wanted to go somewhere like that. So it's unfortunate we didn't get to, but so
Nice.
whatever.
Well, I'll probably let you go now. I haven't eaten breakfast yet, but it was nice
Jeez.
talking to you, man. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I feel like we got a good conversation in. I'll
Yeah,
uh,
no,
I'll let you know when I've uploaded it.
yeah, no, it's cool. Is this your first one, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's um. How does sorry, don't put this part of the podcast, but how does Zoom work? Like, so he's recording the whole thing?
Yeah, so it's just recording the whole
That's
thing, and
cool.
then
Yeah, you can cut this part out. I'm just asking.
yeah, and then I just like it saves like a audio file as well as a video file. So I'll
Okay.
probably upload one to like SoundCloud or something like that, and
Yeah.
then to YouTube.
Cool. Oh,
I
it's
think I'm
sick.
gonna call it the combat sport broadcast.
Yeah. Any ideas who you want next?
There's just so many people. Like, I'd love to
There
get
is.
Chris Prickett on, maybe with his girlfriend Jazz.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice. And then
Dude, now's the perfect time for this, right?
yeah, because
I'm
everybody's at
telling you,
home,
for
has
sure, bored
all the
and
time in the
just
world to listen.
normally people are working, so like normally Pickett would be so busy, right?
Yeah,
But now he'd definitely be down. I told Alex I was doing this too, and him and Jason were like, "Yo, should have had us all on that." Like,
that'd be cool. It
us
might get too
talking.
hectic.
Yeah,
So many people.
yeah,
Anyway,
true.
bro,
All
nice
right,
talking to you.
that was fun. It's my first podcast ever, actually. So
Oh, sweet.
I was I was kind of worried. Like I didn't know what to expect. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You seemed
I
ready
figured
about all this
it'd
stuff.
be good to do it with someone who I was friends with, so it'd be
Yeah, yeah.
not too much pressure.
True. True. All right, man.